Testing, testing. All right, I see the bar moving, so I think audio is working. Hey, questionable Canadian. Thanks for the question. What lens am I using? I'm using a Celestron Edge HD8, which is an 8-inch SCT. The aperture is similar to your Apertura 88, but the focal length is 2,000 millimeters. I don't remember what the 88 is. Is it like f4, f5? It's a little. This is a little bit closer. Thanks, Next, for confirming. Yeah, so yeah, I'm using SharpCap's planetary live stacking mode. So it's actually taking 1,000 frames and stacking the best 25% and updating this image as we go, so I can actually make some live adjustments. It's pretty cool. I've done this once before for Jupiter. First time using it for Mars. You can see a little bit of ringing. I don't know if that shows on the live stream. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more. But it shows up on my screen here, and that's because and focusing is pretty hard. But we can see so much surface features here. Let's see if I can make the white balance a little bit better. Yeah, it's live stacking. I haven't played with the white balance settings in the past. Let me see what I need to do to make it move. Yeah, see, I just have to move it quite a bit. And I'm looking at the histogram on the right side. So if I do the show on process frame, so this is what my camera is seeing right now, but it's taking images and then it's live stacking it, and it's making it look like this. So it's saving me a little bit of time from having to capture it later on. But I think it looks pretty okay, aside from the bad seeing conditions around the edge. And I can play with some of the sharpening here. So these are the wavelets. It has 4 levels of wavelets adjustments. You can see what happens if I turn them off. That's when you see the biggest differences. I can take some time lapses. And my camera isn't. I didn't put it in right, so I think here on the right side of the planet, what we're seeing is what's north on Mars. So it's a little bit off. And then with SharpCap, I can save screenshots. So let's open that. Yeah, I can see a preview. Yeah, so this is like 1 frame. Looks pretty good. Yes, this is mostly an experiment since I've never done live stacking on Mars through SharpCap. I've done it on Jupiter where it's much easier. Much bigger planet, much easier to focus, much easier to see all the surface features. It does kind of look like Mars, right? And just looking at what the live view looks like. So live view looks like this. Let's see if I can adjust some of my settings here. I'm doing 19 millisecond exposures, 152 gain. So let me bring that down to 100. I'll bring up my exposure a little bit. So that should help a little bit with the noise. So I'll do 30. There's an offset. I don't think I want to do an offset. And then now I can go back to my live stack. And I can reset stack. Yeah, so it's going to try and retake all of the good frames. You can see as it's taking more images, it's getting better and better. The noise is is going away little by little. The signal is coming in more, so we can see more of the surface features. And I'm stacking best 25% of frames every 1,000 frames, so about 250 frames. I might actually bring this down to 20, see if that helps a little bit. And let's see what my time lapse is looking like. It's here. Hey, Manitoba. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty bright red dot. Although it looks a little bit paler here. It's mainly because of my histogram adjustments, my white balance adjustments here that I'm doing manually. I can if I bring the blue down a little bit, it'll get more red. So it'll look a little bit more noticeable. Yeah, I think this is good. Hey, Lake Rat. Thanks for joining. And if you haven't yet, press like on the video. It'll help YouTube share this stream with others. And what I'm doing in this screen is just a feature tracking. So what this is doing is just looking at uh, different features on Mars. So let me do this. Let me actually stop this, close this, and then I'll restart it and then show you what I mean. So like feature tracking, I was hoping it would become small again, but it's not. But I can click on highlight features and then monitor and calibrate, and lots of dots. It's just SharpCap trying to figure out where Mars is, and it's going to try and make some changes. Hopefully I don't regret doing that. Hey Sundog, welcome. Whoa. Calibration failed, so I'm not gonna play with this right now. That would have been cool to see, but it's okay. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well as well. Oops. Let me. No, come on! Don't stop responding now. Tools. Oh boy. Things are not responding right now. Alright, I'm just restarting SharpCap. Looks like it froze. Don't know why. Okay. There we go. There's Mars. Whoa, that's a lot of gain. So 100 gain and 30 millisecond exposure. There we go. I'll do a region of interest here. Apply. There we go. Okay, so this is looking at Mars live. Sorry about the clouds. You know, it sucks. Okay, histogram. Okay, now I will go back to solar system live stacking. Oops, not that. Tools, solar system live stacking. Okay, let's see if it remembers my settings. It did not. So I'm going to do 1,000. Filter framing, only the best 20%. And then, let's see. Stabilization, realign colors. Yes, yes, yes. Let's do auto sharpen. That's way too much. All right, there we go. So I think I'll just leave it here. Let it do its thing. Hey, my Chan, thanks for joining. Oh yeah, so Sunday, you told me you had a couple of setbacks. Yeah, I remember you telling me about the motor failed. So, oh wow, you already got it. Cool, that's awesome. I was missing the bottom plate on the motor. Oh no. I hope they're sending you a new one. Cool. Hope it's fast delivery as well. That's awesome. Yeah, seems like a good company. Oh yeah, yeah. Chinese New Year is gonna affect almost everything telescope related, but it's okay. It's only a couple weeks. Yeah, usually all these companies take a break during Chinese New Year. It's like their holiday week or holiday couple weeks. Awesome, nice, nice Sundog. It's a good connection to have. I think whoever you're communicating with. Hey Curtis, thanks for joining. Hey, D Diver. We are looking at Mars. I'm here trying to make sure things look okay. And I know quite a few new people here, so if you haven't joined our Discord yet, I'll put the invite link in the description. Feel free to join. It's a great community. We're growing. I try to do as many live streams as I can. It's a great place to learn and teach. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. You're in Reading. Nice. You're ASF 585 MC. That's an awesome camera. Are you in Reading, Massachusetts, or is there? I know there's probably other Readings all over the world. I think there's one in England. What scope am I using? This is a Celestron Edge HD8. Let me find a picture for you. Give me 1 second. Oh, waiting for your new camera. I see. Yeah, I thought you were in Reading, waiting for your camera. That's cool though. It's still cool. We're all still neighbors. We're all still on the same planet. Anyways, this is the scope that I'm using. It's the Celestron Edge HD8. It's an 8-inch SCT. This is the iOptron iCam 464C. It has an IMX 464 sensor. I'm using a 2x Orion Barlow. Normally I use an ADC as well, which is an atmospheric dispersion corrector. I'm not using it tonight, mostly because I forgot to include it in my imaging train, but I don't think I need it. Mars is pretty high in the sky anyway, but this is the setup on my CEM 40 mount. Oh yeah, yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes when I type with my hands, my fingers autocorrect to some other word I'm thinking about. It's I don't know if that happens to anyone else. My fingers type faster than I can think sometimes. Oh, nice. Yeah, I would love an 11-inch, but yeah, I don't usually travel with this telescope. I've been using it just for planetary for my backyard. Have had a couple of people overlook through it. Other than that, it stays in the house. And last night was the first time I used it for deep sky imaging. Worked pretty well. I know Galileo would be like, "What the heck?" I mean, Galileo had some really nice telescopes. I went to the Galileo Museum in, I think it's in Florence, in Italy, a few years ago. It was interesting to see all of his telescopes. I've got pictures, but of course they were all like bronze back then, single lens, but they were still really cool. Hey, Uzi Games, welcome. He definitely would. First, he'd be like, "What is this light bulb?" Or maybe he'll be like, "What the hell is this light pollution?" Yeah, people back then were probably bored of the Milky Way galaxy, seeing it every year. Oh yeah, hey Smoss guy. Yeah, I'm in the opposite. I have the opposite problem. I actually wanted to start looking at Jupiter first, but Jupiter went behind a tree for me. And once it gets behind that tree, it's not visible anymore because then it just gets behind my neighbor's house. So skip Jupiter, and I'm looking at Mars, which is okay, which is pretty good. I mean, Mars is just past opposition a couple of weeks ago, and we can see some really nice features. This is a live stacked image, so if you look at the unprocessed frames, so this is what it looks like unprocessed. Kind of ugly, but yeah, SharpCap's planetary live stacking is kind of amazing. I forgot to turn this on. I'm jealous of your Bortle 3, 4 skies in Arizona, Sundog. Yeah, I'm in like Bortle 8, right outside of Boston. Yeah, I'm with you, Curtis. The it's yeah, yeah. I'm kind of glad I can only see like mostly the northern part of the sky, which is slightly away from the Boston lights, but still, it's still Bortle 8. It's terrible. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, you said you're in San Antonio now. Cool. I used to live in New York City, so I went from Bortle 100 to Bortle 8. When did you move out to San Antonio? Yeah, it was fine. I used to do a lot of like sidewalk astronomy. I did one yesterday. I think a lot of people who are on like in the Discord and follow me on YouTube saw the pictures, but I'll put one up really quickly. But like, yeah, this was me at a star party last night in Cambridge, like Bortle 8, 9 skies. But we were looking at this person was looking at Saturn at the time. This is my 6-inch SCT. So I used to do a lot of this when I was in New York, especially around planet season. So I became good at like looking at planets, and taking images of planets. So I didn't get to do any deep sky stuff until years, not successfully or not well until years later. Cool. Yeah, you moved out of Boston a while ago. Yeah, I moved here in 2015, so I'm the new guy in town still. Oh wow, you saw the Sundog. You saw the dark lanes of the Triffin. I think I've seen it with our so my astronomy club has a 25-inch f3.8 Dob. So I've seen some really nice nebulae there. And Trifid Nebula, I think, yeah, it was one of them. It's been a while since I've seen the Trifid visually, but that was one of them. We look at the Ring Nebula and Dumbbell Nebula all the time whenever we can. Yeah, I really like it here. I like it a lot better than New York. My parents still live in New York, so I go back quite often, but I like it here. Yeah, you can't park your car in Harvard Yard. Can't really do the Boston accent. I don't really have a New York accent either. I know when people think about New York, they think about the classic Brooklyn accent. Forget about it. I think this is just an illusion since this is live stacked. It's the seeing conditions is actually below average. So here's the seeing conditions. If you look at the live view, you can see it's pretty jumpy. You can still see some dark areas of Mars, but without SharpCap's live stacking feature, yeah, it would just look like this. So that's why I'm using this instead of fire capture tonight. I usually use fire capture, but here's the live stacked image. It's a little bit of magic, but when I look at astroperic, seeing conditions are below average. When I was out there looking outside, I can see the atmosphere was a little bit mushy. Yeah, the live stacking is pretty cool, right? Yeah, I can manipulate the wavelets here, so I can make it go crazy. I don't know how good this looks on the in the live stream, but on my computer I see lots of ringing. And this doesn't have a de-ringing option. That's why I have it toned down a little bit. Oh yeah, I use an iPad. It's not a 9. I think it's a 7. When I do my C Star stuff, like when I'm doing my outreach or when I'm doing my live streams, it's usually through an iPad. It's just much easier to see. I agree. You got a quada. I can hear that sentence. Yeah, my wife has lived here most all of her life. She doesn't have a Boston accent. It's like you have to live like in like South Boston or something in order in order to pick up the Boston accent, I think. Oh, cool. So do you have a like Texan accent then? Toity Toy Street. I'll that actually sounds like Mo from the Three Stooges. Toity Toy Streets. you know, Curtis. I know how you feel. You know, like I do speak differently with some of my friends. You know, from New York that I've grown up with. It's a lot of code switching, and maybe when I talk to them, I have a little bit of a New York accent. But I don't know. It's funny how that works. I definitely have a different accent when I talk to my parents. Oh yeah, that's cool. I haven't really lived anywhere too many places. You sound like a Canadian. Do you say like a boat? I have a couple of coworkers who are from Canada. Like I can clearly tell that they're Canadian just by how they pronounce certain words. Hey, Hael. So yeah, it's yeah, a couple other people were mentioning that too. So this is actually a live stack version. So SharpCap has a planetary live stacking feature. So it's taking the best 20% frames out of every 1,000 frames that it takes, and it's stacking them here for me. But if you're looking at the unprocessed frames, so this is what it looks like. So my seeing is actually below average, but it's SharpCap is automatically taking the best frames and it's stacking them for me. It's pretty sweet. But even under these conditions, we can see some surface features. But once I turn the live stacking on, it's like kind of magic. Like we can see so much more. My seeing, I wish my seeing was excellent. This would have looked a lot better. Focusing would have been a lot easier. Focusing is a pain. Can't focus with live stacking on. It's SharpCap. It's mostly free, um, but it's also somewhat paid. So most of the features you can use for free, but I think the live stacking feature is not free. Let me look it up for you. And it's £12 a year, so it's a British company. But for someone like me who uses this so much, it's totally worth it. I can also do like sensor analysis with this. It's really cool. But let me pull it up. Yeah, I guess we can call it a freemium software, right? You have it's all most of the features are free, but for some of the more advanced stuff, you need to pay for it. So here, there's a feature comparison. So the free version don't really care about memory caching. Um, Feature tracking, yeah, like the what I was trying to do earlier. Planet disk stabilization, it doesn't have. Some of the auto stretching, interesting. No color balancing. Sharpening, live stacking. Let's see if it has live stacking. A live stacking. Oh yeah. Planetary live stacking. It doesn't mention, but it has some features of live stacking, but not everything. So like you can't do an auto histogram stretch. You can't use a sigma clipped algorithm, which is actually pretty big. And I can't actually tell if planetary live stacking is not here. Yeah, I mean I can assume it is, but I have the pro version. It's totally worth it. I guess it's £14 a year now. It used to be 12. I wish I had a space telescope, but here's a picture of the setup that's currently outside, minus the atmospheric dispersion corrector. But it's the Celestron C8 with an iCam 464C and a 2x Barlow on a CEM 40 mount. Cool. Yeah. This does the Edge Snap do like planetary light stacking? I actually don't know the specs for it. Like if you can even see planets well. The sea stars and the dwarf also does live stacking, which is cool. And I typically use SharpCap for deep sky live stacking as well. It works really well. starting up one of my polls. Does sharp cap compensate for rotation? So what this live stack version does is it'll actually update the view. So once Mars starts, you can see significant rotation. You can actually see it rotate. So it doesn't derotate like with WinJupos. So it just keeps updating the frame. So if you're looking at Jupiter, you can actually see it move much quicker than Mars. But I don't know. The answer is kinda. Like it doesn't derotate, but it does update with the rotation. So we're not gonna see any smudginess. Yeah, agreed. I will still say that nothing beats Saturn's rings. We saw Saturn like in this picture yesterday at one of our star parties. This person was looking at Saturn, and people had some of the best reactions ever. Like not just at this event, but any stargazing event that I host. Yeah, but it's also crazy to see like the actual like land on Mars. Like you can see the differences in the surface of Mars. Kind of crazy. Sundog, do you have like any astronomy clubs near you? Even if you don't get to physically go, like if you join a local one, I'm sure there are people around you that you can, reach out, contact, and hang out. I've made a ton of friends just by going to astronomy events here. I agree, my Chan. Sea Star isn't great with planets. The video I made about the S30 versus S50 and how I wouldn't call either of these planetary telescopes. Some people got mad at me, like uh, saying that I wouldn't use these for planets. Yeah, you don't need to be able to travel. Like if you just look up astronomy clubs online, if you look at the Sky and Telescope website, you could join these clubs online. See if they have like an online forum or something. And then if they ever like do a star party near you where you can just walk to, or even like near your house, that would be cool. We've done that here. Thanks, my chan. I expected some of those comments. That's okay. I usually just ignore them unless they start attacking people. Cooler or colder? Um, was that to me or did somebody else say something? I don't always remember everything I say. No, sea stars are not. They're for deep sky objects. But if you ask ZWO, they will say you can do anything with the sea star, which like granted, I'll give them some credit that like with you can see a planet, you can see Saturn with ears, that's the rings. So you won't be able to see any details, but you can clearly tell that they're planets. But they're not planetary telescopes. I wouldn't use it for planets. No, so Jupiter. I wish I was doing other planets tonight, but Jupiter went behind a tree, and it's going to go behind my neighbor's house after that, so it's out of view. Saturn and Venus have set. Neptune and Uranus are also out of reach. So Mars is the only one that I have. No, I haven't even looked at the poll. I set it up. Let's see what the results are. Wow, 92% pick Jupiter. Poor Mars. We're looking at Mars and nobody's picking Mars. We need more people in the stream to even things out. But Jupiter is cooler, you know. Oh, that's what you meant. Cooler or colder? It's the pole. Cooler as in which do you like more? Not. This is not a factual poll. It's not based on facts. Just your opinion. Mars candy bar. Uh, yeah, I guess that's a little bit unfair to put Mars against Jupiter. Even in the Star Party last night, once I went from Jupiter to Mars, the level of interest went way down because it's just much harder to see detail on Mars. It's just so tiny, even at opposition. And this year's opposition, Mars is even smaller than it was the last time around. If you got a chance to eat the planet Mars, I think it would taste rusty. What does that taste? Metallic, sweet? Is that the taste of rust? Oh, cool. Yeah, you can do that now with Stellarium or WinJupos also has ephemeris that you can look at. Um, Firecapture also has it. I don't know if SharpCap does. I never used it for that. But yeah, if you haven't used Stellarium, I highly recommend getting it. It's free. There's also a mobile version, which is not as good, but the desktop version is amazing. Like if we look up just a quick demo, just in case you haven't seen it, like we zoom into Jupiter, we can see the moons of Jupiter. Yeah, we can also see some of the other little ones too, like Amalthea here, Metis is here, Thebe, pause, Adrastea. Yeah, Jupiter has so many moons, and Stellarium is so cool. And if you look at Mars, I think there's supposed to be a shadow transit of Phobos on Mars at some point. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but let's see. Phobos. If I bring up the time. Yeah, it'll be later tonight, but yeah, it's like Phobos goes behind Mars. Oh, come on. Track me. There's coming out. Yeah, at around like 12:15, Phobos is going to go behind. So it's not a shadow transit. I think shadow transit may have been a couple days ago, or it's tomorrow. But if we look at Mars, so the polar ice caps are here. So you can see the surface features are pretty well with what we can see in Stellarium. Pretty cool. Phobos is not going to appear here. If it came up as a shadow transit, we'd be able to see it. But Phobos is much dimmer. See, it's at almost 12th magnitude. We'll not be able to see it unless I bring up the exposure quite a bit. I'm just leaving it here for 30 seconds to show people what the seeing condition is really like and how magical sharp cap live stacking is. Oh, cool, Starry Night Pro. I've I think I tried it. I mean, I know about it. Maybe I just saw a demo of it. Actually, yeah, no, I did see just a demo of it by the guy from Fort Worth Astronomical Society. His name is Chris. He uses Starry Night Pro. Good one, Sundog. Yeah, that's cool, Curtis. Yeah, like it's good to stick with what you can use. Um, I started with Stellarium, so I tend to stick with it. I know there's a lot of other great apps nowadays too. I have been using a lot of Sky Safari Pro on my phone, but usually when I'm on my desktop, I still default to Stellarium, the classics. I totally agree with you, Sundog. I before I do any kind of planetary imaging, I always look through an eyepiece first, just to because it always feels better, and it's also one of the reasons why I do star parties, just to look. As much as I like imaging, imaging is so much harder. Also having to process everything. Eh. Yeah, 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 the trying to remember what the ASI Air thing is called. Sky something. I think they use the same backend for the Sea Star, Sky Atlas. That's what it's called, Sky Atlas. Is that what the ASI Air um, star map thing is called, Sky Atlas? Yeah, I use a green laser pointer for star parties, especially when I'm in darker areas. It's great to point stuff out to people. I usually don't use it at home because I live near the airport. Yeah, and I don't want the authorities knocking on my door for accidentally pointing it at an airplane. Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't used ASI Air. I've been using Nina for a long time, and I used Astroberry for years, which runs on a Raspberry Pi. I've been meaning to switch to StellarMate at some point, but I've been lazy. Just been sticking to Nina. Oh, cool, Sundog. Yeah, I actually have like a little mount that with a dovetail that goes for the laser that can go onto my telescopes, but I usually don't use it for pointing my telescopes. Just use it as a hand tool for star parties now. Yeah, it might be. Like everything is a version of something else, right? Like why would anyone reinvent the wheel? Like the first company, first person that created a sky map like Stellarium or Starry Night Pro. No point in reinventing everything. So I mean, I don't actually know what Sky Atlas is based off of, so it could be. Yeah, don't hit the jets, but maybe I'm not gonna say anything about UAPs. I don't know what they'll do if you hit them. Hey Montana. Yeah, no, I know exactly how you feel. I have a couple of videos on like telescopes. I just did one on what makes a good planetary telescope. But if you have Discord, feel free to join our Discord server. There's a ton of good people in there that knows about telescopes. I also try and help out as much as I can, answer your questions. So you can feel free to ask in there, and you can ask me whenever. Yeah, and definitely check out some of the smart telescopes. Like Sundog has the Edge Snap. I have the Sea Star S30 and the Dwarf 3. The video on the Dwarf 3 I should have finished a week ago, but I'll try and finish it this weekend. Oh man, you're closer to the airport than I am. I think I'm 3 or 4 miles from Boston Logan Airport. When I lived in New York City, I was 5 miles from JFK. So I seem to only live near airports. If you're rich, you can go for a Takahashi. Why stop at Televiews? Televiews are expensive, but once you see a good talk, yeah. If you're retired, like maybe a smart telescope's easy. They're affordable. They're small, portable, and easy to use. So I'll actually post the video to my S30 to S versus S50 video, so you can look just to give you an idea of what smart telescopes can be like. There you go. So that's the link to my S30 to S50, but feel free to look at um, my other videos as well. And I should have one on the SV Bony 80 millimeter Apo refractor as well. Yeah, I agree with my Chan. Yeah, yeah. No planets, sadly. But it's amazing for deep sky, and it's also been really great for my outreach. Yeah, you can go for a Dobsonian. Like if you're okay with carrying a Dobsonian, you can get an 8-inch for a really decent price, like $600-700. Apertura makes a really good one. I think someone was here earlier who had an 88 questionable Canadian. I don't know if you're still here, but if you have anything to say about your 8-inch Dob. Yeah, feel free to post a link. Ooh, nice. Lunt 40. I have a Lunt 40. I don't know if you've seen any of my Lunt 40 videos. So if you need help capturing and processing images from the Lunt 40, you need to check those out. I'll link that in the chat too. And I actually gave a talk about the Lunt or about hydrogen alpha solar imaging a couple of weeks ago at my local astronomy club, which was really fun. I plan to redo it because the audio, it was posted online, but the audio isn't great. Let me find my video. There we go. So I just posted a link to my full hydrogen alpha capture and processing video. I need to update it at some point, but it's still really relevant and works really well. Wow, Montana. You live in like is I'm assuming that Northwest Montana is really dark. You know, I've never been there. I've always wanted to go to Montana with a telescope, but you probably have some amazing views. Yeah, 10-inch Dob like would be amazing. I want a 10-inch Dob. Thanks, Montana. I'm happy to hear you're subscribed. Yeah, you live in the uh, opposite skies from me and Curtis in our Bortle 8 skies. Oh, nice. You got some flocking in your Dob. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty necessary, especially if you live in areas with a lot of porch lights. Yeah, I'm really I'm really jealous of Montana. one day I'll head that way and to Arizona or New Mexico. I'd love to go to like one of those parks. Maybe when my son is a little bit older and he can survive a long trip like that. Super cool, Montana. Awesome. This is a really cool view. On the left side is the live stack, and on the right side is the jumpy live view of Mars. Oh, cool. Does the red glasses help? The scope is the Celestron Edge HT8. So this is the setup outside. Just an 8-inch SCT using a 2x Barlow. So the effective focal length is 4,000 millimeters, and iOptron iCam 464C on a CEM 40 mount. In this picture, I have an ADC, which is an atmospheric dispersion corrector, but tonight I'm not using it mostly because I forgot, and then when I remembered, it was too late, or I didn't feel like refocusing my setup. How many stacks am I aiming for? Well, I mean, I'm doing this just to live stream. I'm not going for any specific imaging targets, but each of these frames are 1,000 frames, stacking the best 20%. And I'm also doing a time lapse that's saving a frame every 5 seconds. So I have 500 frames already. I don't know how that's gonna come out, but I'll see. I don't really have a goal. I just want to show everyone on the internet something cool. Oh, were you thinking about sending something to what's it called, Starfront in Texas? I know a few people who have scopes there. They really like it. I was tempted to do it, but I would have to get a whole completely different setup because I only have one like real mount that that I can send that they would accept, which is the CEM 40 here. But I don't want to spend another $2,000 on a mount. I'd also have to get myself another telescope, another camera. Yeah, it's just gonna be expensive. I can't. Oh no, I am not rich. I wish I was. If I was, I would live somewhere else. But I've been collecting telescopes for a long time. All of the stuff you see here, everything is used. I always buy from the used market. The iCam here, the camera here, is not used, but I'm borrowing it from iOptron. So once I'm done testing it, it's going back. But everything is used here. Um, I have not paid full price for anything in a long time. The last thing I bought that for full price was probably my Lunt 40 a couple of years ago. I'm located in Boston. Oh yeah, the Edge Snap is really cheap. I want to get one just to like test it out, see how it is. Orion Atlas Pro. Do I know that one? I think I have to Google it. Oh yeah, I've seen it before. I've never used it, but cool. I have a if it has if it has needs to be like manually homed or something. Like I have an AVX mount that I can't send. Starfront won't accept it. They have some requirements. So anything with like an auto home position can go, like the CEM 40, but anything that needs to be manually homed can't. I don't know about the Orion. Ah, cool. It's an HEQ5. Yeah, then this one you'd be able to send to Starfront. Cool. Yeah, I have an AVX mount that I've had for 13 years now, 12 years now, give or take. They won't accept it. If they did, then I would actually happily send it because it's my backup mount. I haven't used it in a long time. Long time meaning a year. No, it has to do with they don't accept the AVX because it has to do with how it needs to be homed. So like before you do your alignment, you need to manually set the declination and the RA axis to the middle. Um, you can't do it automatically on the AVX or a lot of the older Celestron mounts. So yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, and I just got a warning that this is at the edge of my ROI, so I need to reframe this. So I'm just going to stop. Okay, so get rid of my ROI. Fit width. Oh, which way does it go? Let's see, time lapse, stop. Yeah, it's yeah, they have their instructions on the Starfront website. I can link it after I'm done recentering this. Okay, let's see. Let me turn this off for now. Let's see, fit height. Whoa. All right, that should be good enough. Okay. Let's apply. Alrighty. Let's do stacking again. Let's zoom in. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. I'm catching up to the chat. They sent you a prototype AZ mount by mistake. They're sending another one. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I just googled the Orion Atlas Pro mount. I see the SynScan controller. Can the mounts be as much as the scopes? I think sometimes the mounts can be even more expensive depending on, yeah, like the bigger telescope you have, the bigger mount you need, and I think they get even more expensive. They can be crazy. My mount, they do auto meridian flip, but meridian flips are always annoying. It's like successful 33% of the time where it'll recenter the object again. Yeah, like if I look at my setup again, the if you were to get this brand new, the 8-inch Edge HT is I think $1,600 brand new. The CEM40 is 2,800, I believe. I can look it up, but yeah, the mount is a lot more expensive. Yeah, it can be crazy. If I were to get like a C11, it would my CEM40 will be able to handle it, and I think then the telescope would be more expensive than the mount. But yeah, it takes a little while. Sell a kidney. I don't think I can afford to sell a kidney. Yeah, so I pulled up the Starfront FAQs. Now, where they say they don't accept the CGS or the AVX mount due to the software and the mechanical issues that use remote imaging difficult, blah blah blah. Yeah, so this is a non-homing mount. So neither of these mounts have a way to automatically set your mounts to home, like my CEM40 does. So yeah, they don't accept these. Like they'll take my iOptron. But yeah, I totally understand that, and I've had this issue like when I was learning my AVX early on. The having to manually put it in home position is annoying. Oh yeah, which mount do you have, Curtis, for your C11? I it's been a while since I've looked up the weight of the C11. Let's see if my CM40 can even handle that. Hey Bob Knight, yeah, very expensive hobby. I still want a strain wave mount, like a AM5 or something, or one of the iOptron, the hybrid mounts that they have. They look pretty cool. Oh right, yeah. Sorry, Curtis. Yeah, you already you already told me what you have. Short-term memory problems here. Yeah, it looks like the C11 weighs 28 pounds. Or 13 kilograms. My CEM40 has a 40-pound weight capacity, but of course I don't want to load that all the way. So yeah, C11 would go on my CM40 for sure, even with the extra gear. Probably go up to like 34, 35 pounds. Yeah, with the counter rate. Yeah, I think yeah, I usually tend to stay within 75%. Like with my AVX, since it had 25 or 27 pound, yeah, I think it was 27 pound weight capacity. It was really easy to get to 20 pounds with my gear. So, and it did really well. And my CEM 40 is much better. Yeah, I hope smart telescopes keep improving and also not get more expensive. Because the Celestron Origin is out. It's $4,000. Like I don't want that. It's a 6-inch, pretty much like a Rasa telescope. We need them to get cheaper, not more expensive. Yeah, my astronomy club, the Amateur Telescope Makers of Boston. Um, a lot of people here make their own telescopes. One of our members, he has, I think, the largest amateur-made telescope in the world. He has a 32-inch in his house, which is bigger than our largest observatory telescope. So, yeah, it's crazy. I think he spent a lot of time on it. I'm going to link to his website in the chat so you can read about him. He's super cool. His name is Mario Mata. He has a picture of himself next to his 32-inch telescope. Yeah, he has pictures of his process. It's amazing. I have an open invite to go visit him and use the telescope whenever I want, but he lives like an hour and a half away from me. If he was closer, I would definitely go take one of my cameras and see if I can do some imaging through it. But he does some amazing imaging through his telescope. Oh, cool. I have an AZ GTI that I use. It's similar to the GTI. It has or the Star Adventure GTI, also 11 pound capacity. I use that for like travel setups. Yeah, I don't know how much it actually weighs. I wonder if he has information on it. He has a 32-inch, 5200 millimeter focal length f6.5. Any weight? He doesn't have the weight on it, but I'm sure it probably does weigh 1 ton. No, he has one giant 32-inch mirror. If you look at the website I linked to above, you can see it there. 50. Say what again? The specs of the telescope: 32-inch f 6.4, 6.5. Yeah, f6.5, 200 millimeter focal length. Yeah, it's giant. I will definitely have to take him on take on his offer to go visit one day and check it out. Oh, cool. Hey, Dom. Yeah, the I would like an electric car at some point. I think Rivian sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it's a huge scope. And I think I'll end my live stream in about 15 minutes at 11. Mars is heading behind a tree, so if I look at the unprocessed image, it's getting dimmer and dimmer, and that's because it's getting the light is getting eaten by the tree. Um, so it'll eventually disappear and not be visible anymore. So I think 11 o'clock will be my cutting off point. So if anyone has any questions or comments, please let me know. If you haven't joined our Discord, I'll put the link in the chat again in a little bit. So join us there and join me for more live streams later. Let's see, catching up on the things again, on the chat again. Yeah, the light is amazing. He also lives farther away from city lights. I think he's probably in a Bortle 5 location. So he sees some stuff. So if you look at on his website, he has a section for all the images he's taken. I think he's imaged the entire Messier catalog, so you can see the pictures he's taken with this telescope. It's pretty cool. How often? It's usually if it's like a Friday or Saturday with clear weather, I'll probably do it. But it's really depends on the weather, which can and it can be difficult to plan. But if you do use Discord, go there. I post screenshots and answer questions there all the time. Are there any AI astronomy programs that are beneficial? If you use PixInsight for processing, there's a person named Russ Croman who creates a bunch of AI plugins called like Blur Exterminator, Star Exterminator, and Noise Exterminator. Those are pretty cool. Other than that, there's Graxpert. I highly recommend Graxpert. It's free. You have denoising, you have background gradient removal. I think they're also working on deconvolution, aka sharpening, for the future. And then there's this SETI Astro Suite. He just recently created Cosmic Clarity, which also relies on AI. And I feel like I'm forgetting one more. Cool, Curtis. Yeah, thanks for checking that out. And yeah, feel free to reach out with questions. I'm here. I'm on Discord. You can ask in that video. I'm pretty responsive. Hey Lester, it's not a still, so it's being live stacked by SharpCap. So yeah, it's getting dimmer because it's moving behind a tree. So that's why I said I'll end my stream. But SharpCap is live stacking the frames. I can open up some of the older pictures that I've taken, some screen caps. Like Mars looked pretty good over there. Yeah, Mars looked really good over here about 40 minutes ago. But it's not a still. I guess it's kind of a still, but it's a live stacked. It took 1,000 frames and then automatically stacked 20% of the best frames to get this image. But I can turn this off, and you can see what the seeing conditions are like. So this is a live view. See ya, Curtis. Thanks for joining. Yeah, you should. Yeah, if you do like if you use computers for imaging, definitely check out SharpCap's planetary stacking, live stacking. It's pretty cool, and it just picks it out for you and stacks it for you. You don't have to do post processing. I mean, you still may want to later on for better images, but this is pretty cool. There are trees on Mars. There are trees between me and Mars. That's probably more accurate. Increase the brightness to make it look a little bit better, but it's really dim right now because it's we're looking through trees, a tree branch. Yeah, I use AutoStacker too for processing. Uh, Let me bring up the last time I did actual um, live stacking. Yeah, so like this image is from a couple of weeks ago. What date? January 12th. So it was right at opposition. So same setup. I just took a video and then I processed it in AutoStacker and Astro Surface. So that's one. And then I also did Jupiter that same night. Let me pull that up. Yeah, so here Jupiter looks much better. Much easier to see the surface features. But yeah, like Mars is becoming harder to see as it gets behind more and more branches. So the wavelet sharpening, so I already did it earlier in the video here. So in SharpCap, in the sharpening and adjustments, so we have 4 levels of wavelet sharpening. So, I can move this back and forth. You can see that it gets sharper and unsharp. There you go. Whoa. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool that SharpCap has this built in right now. Thank you, Montana. I appreciate it. And thanks, Lester. Great questions. Oh, cool. Next. Oh, where are you heading? I don't think I have any Bortle 2 skies that are less than like 7 or 8 hours from me. Bortle 3, yes. But even that's like 5 or 6 hours away. Oh, nice. You got M76. I don't think I've imaged that one yet. Cool. Sounds good, Lester. Cool. I'll be right behind you, Uzi. Alrighty, I saw you post a picture in the Discord. Pretty cool. Yeah, I thought about. I had to decide earlier whether to do planetary or deep sky. I decided to do planetary. Only because I'm still riding that high off yesterday's Star Party. Little dumbbell sounds more familiar. Oh, cool. Lake Michigan, nice. Yeah, seeing is actually not great today. Here's the seeing. But yeah, I actually want to test out SharpCap's live stacking on Mars. I tested it out previously on Jupiter, worked well, but I want to see what Mars looks like. And so far, it looks pretty good. I need to try it again on Saturn once it comes back around. Good night, Montana. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you around. Where can you join the Discord? Yep. Let me post the. It's in the description of the video, but I'll also put it in the chat in a second. Where are we? Oops, that's not it. Yeah, so there's the Discord invite. Feel free to join. A lot of good people there. And I try my best to help people whenever I can. Yeah, and I really appreciate everyone for joining. No problemo. All right, 5 more minutes, and then I'll be ending the live stream. So if anyone has any last minute questions, comments, I am here for you. Ah, cool. Yeah, it's not too bad. And it's already January 25th. A couple more weeks, you'll have your mount. Yeah, the polar cap. Yeah, this is the polar cap. So if we compare it to, I closed Stellarium, but yeah, the polar caps would be here. Some here. Yeah, it's not the greatest. Let me try and do the white balance as the last thing and see if we can make it appear a little bit. I did keep it a little bit red. Green. Oops. Not too much. Hey, no problem, Sundoc. Thank you. No, I don't think I'll be able to make the ice cap show, but it's here. A little too funky right now. Good night, Lake Rat. Very cool. Very cool. Good luck. Good luck with your session. Clear skies. Ha. I'm glad I can provide a little bit of a show. Sorry, it's ending in about a minute. But Mars, yeah, you can see it's very distorted. It's behind a tree. So I'm gonna after I end this, I'm gonna go pack up. If I had the energy, I would have switched it out to another my astrocam, my regular astrocam, and done some deep sky imaging. But I'm supposedly getting clouds around 1, maybe 2. So no point in prolonging this. And it looks like Jupiter won as the cooler planet at 76% of the votes. Crazy. Thank you, Aislinn, and thank you, Sundog. I hope you both have a great night.